Welcome, everybody, to today's webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about how to find fence-sitting sellers and hidden listings. To get the most from this webinar, we want you to take really good notes, and we want you to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. We'll get to those at the end. If you want to reach us at any time after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl is the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the best-selling books to real estate agents on Amazon. Darryl was named as one of the top real estate newsmakers for 2021 in the Big-Hearted and Brave category. He's also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. On that note, our host with the most, real estate coach, Darryl Davis. Take it away.
Okay, thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. All right, welcome, everybody. So first of all, one thing I do want to address, if this is your first time to this webinar, we get this question, is this webinar a sales pitch? There's nothing free in the world. And so I just want to address that up front, that the answer is absolutely not. It's not a sales pitch. You're going to get a tremendous amount of value. But I do want to be clear with you. This is a weekly webinar that is geared towards our power agents. Those are agents in our coaching program. So some of you on this call are guests, and we welcome our guests. We're so excited that you're here. And the only reason why I say that up front is because from time to time, I'm going to speak directly to our members, our power agents. I'll point something out. So when that happens, I just want you to understand that. But this webinar is loaded with content. I was doing some edits to it last night. For those of you that are guests, just to take 60 seconds to let you know what the Power Agent Program is. It's a monthly membership that we have. We've locked in the price at a lower price during these COVID times. We're looking to raising it back so people would get grandfathered in. But the first 30 days, you get it for $5. Complete access to everything. It's unrestricted. You can cancel anytime. But if you're a guest, the cool thing is you'll be an opportunity to get a lot of bonuses at the end. If you want to become a power agent, this is just a screenshot of everything that you get to keep. And you get to keep that for only $5. So with that said, I do want to talk to the power agents just for a second, and then we'll get into the content. Power agents, 2 announcements. Number 1, I want to remind you, because we have a lot of new power agents as well, is that every week these recordings are put into the classroom for you on the website. And the most recent webinars that we've done, just looking at the last 4 from right to left, we talked about mortgage money, how to get deals closed with an interview that we did. What do you do now that Zillow is a competing broker? How to get more listings at higher commissions, and then how to get your offers accepted in a multiple offer situation like we're experiencing throughout the country. So those are the most recent webinars. Make sure you check that out. This webinar is going to be posted there as well, power agents. The other thing is the upcoming webinars, also power agents. We have the 7 Habits of Highly Effective, increasing your online real estate leads with LinkedIn. We're having a guest speaker on that one, bringing that person in. And another one I'm real excited about, how to coach your buyers in the seller's market, create some loyalty, and get them ready and prepared. Second announcement, and then we'll get into today's webinar. Power agents, we've been getting a lot of people that have been referring business back and forth, which is like a huge bonus of your membership. So I just want to remind power agents, if you haven't updated your profile, make sure you click on that button when you log in and you go to your dashboard, you go to your profile and edit, make sure your photo's there, your description, because it seems like every week there's at least 2 referrals that are happening now each and every week throughout the country. And I don't want you to miss out because you just didn't do this free thing for yourself and fill out the profile. All right, with that said, let's get into today's topic. And I do want to explain how we're going to do this. These weekly webinars, there's one of 2 approaches. Sometimes we'll go wide, meaning we'll cover a little bit of a bunch of things, or we'll go really deep on one topic. For example, when we talk about the buyer topic, we're going deep on buyers. When we're talking about negotiating offers, we're going deep on that. Today's webinar, we're going wide. I'm going to give you, listen to me, this is very important. If you stop listening, I want you to listen now. You are going to get more than you could possibly handle. It's like a fire hose. You can't implement everything. So I want you to just pick 2 or 3 things that you're going to implement in the next 30 days. Here's the first thing I want to share with you guys. I want to talk about how to get those hidden listings, how to shake the trees and prospect using open houses as a place for you to do that. Now, if you're a new agent and you don't have any listings, this is a great opportunity for you as well, because there's other agents in your office that have listings that would love to get another agent to do it for them or to help them at their open house, and you work out some kind of arrangement. How does that help you with listings? I'll tell you. This is the type of response we're seeing. Now, we're starting to see more open houses with less masks. Thank God for that. We're really starting to turn a corner here in the U.S. with this virus. But this was one taken not too long ago from one of our power agents, Joanne Mills. But this is still true today, where when you do an open house, you're seeing lines of people around the corner. Let me tell you why this is so powerful. Who is seeing this lines of people right now? When you control the showing and you have people wait outside, which, by the way, even post-COVID, I think this is a great idea. Doing one couple at a time as opposed to what we normally do, which is we just let people walk in. I'd form a line. Here's why. Who's seeing that line, everybody? Look at that picture. Who's seeing the line? Come on. I can hear you. Let's talk to the computer. If you have said the neighbors are seeing that, you're absolutely right. That right there is advertisement for a potential listing, because it's sending out a message to all the neighbors. This is hot. Look at all these buyers. There's only one house. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people. They're going to want to buy in this neighborhood. Maybe you should consider selling now. One of the things I'm going to recommend that you do is create a checklist for yourself. Like Power Agents, we created this checklist for you. Thanks, Eric. I see your note there, Eric Riley. If you look at this checklist, everybody should have a checklist that prepares you for the open house, helps you promote the open house. What do you do during the open house? You want to run your business like a business and be organized. Here's something else I'm going to suggest that you do. This is huge. Please, everybody, do this. Do you see what it says in black at the bottom? It says, host a neighborhood open house first, before you do a public open house if you can. If you get a new listing before you do a public open house, do an open house just for the neighbors. Invite the neighbors to an open house. Now, let me tell you why this is a powerful concept. And I'm going to show you something in a minute. Well, here, I'll show you a couple of things. One of the flyers we created for our students is you mail out a flyer to all the neighbors saying, hey, ask a friend to be your neighbor. And you can use the flyer to help promote your open house. And I'm going to show you another piece we just created for you guys last night. But here's the concept. When you tell the neighbors we're doing an open house by invitation only, the homeowners are not going to be home. When you do that, you're going to have all of these potential homeowners coming through your open house. And because you know their neighbors, you're not going to be focused on trying to sell them the house. You're going to focus on building a relationship, asking questions as you're showing them the house. They might sound like this. Oh, so thanks for coming. How long have you lived in the neighborhood? What do you like best about the neighborhood? Do you have a similar style house like this? Let me show you. By the way, have you ever thought about moving? If you were to move, where would you move to? When was the last time you had a market analysis done on your property? Every homeowner should have that done at least once a year. Why not do this? I don't mind. Why not find the time when I come over, take a look at your house, and I can tell you what your house is worth in today's market. You should do that. It's like a physical. You have a physical done every year. You should have that done on your house because it's your most important asset. If you invite 50 homeowners to the open house, you're going to probably walk away with 50 CMAs. Now, one of the things I suggest you do to invite them is send out a wedding invitation looking piece. Now, you'll see here, it says you're personally invited. This would go into a small little envelope. You fold it up. By the way, Power Agents, I want to show you. I don't know if you can see it in red at the bottom. What my office did is they used the Avery 3266, so you can print it right onto your computer, onto Avery labels. It's a Word document that you can customize, Power Agents. But here's what I want to point out. You're personally invited to a neighborhood open house. As the homeowners will not be present, I will provide a personal tour of the home at bada bing, you put the address in. If you tell the neighbors that the homeowner will not be home, they're going to be nosy. They're going to come. That's the whole point. Here's another benefit in doing this is when you do your public open house, the fact that the neighbors have already come, you've gotten them out of the way. See, part of the problem is when you do a neighborhood open house and the homeowners come, when you do a public open house and the neighbors come, they may not be honest with you. They say, oh yes, we're just driving by. And you're talking to them like they're buyers, but they're really homeowners, right? And so that can be a distraction that can waste your time and energy. So there's my thought on that. Here's a couple other suggestions on these open houses: is stream the open house into maybe a Facebook closed community group. Because part of what we're doing here with the open house is to get eyeballs on you, and you work in the neighborhood, right? So if you're doing an open house, perhaps stream it, not to your business page, stream it to a closed Facebook group where that listing resides, okay? Because you want to let all the neighbors know that way. Here's another thing: proper signage is paramount. You know, Eric Riley, I'm so glad that you're on this call, because Eric Riley is somebody I worked with on Long Island when I used to be an agent, and I'm going to bring him down memory lane, because here is a picture of these open house signs that we used to hang up when we did our public open houses. Now, I apologize for the black and white, because this is an old photo. I'm going to show you an updated so you can see it, but really, I'm going to try and point this out. At the top of the sign was the logo of the company, and then in big black letters said open house, and then there was the address, and there were fluorescent arrows. Now I'm going to show you a color one so you can really appreciate it, although the company logo is missing on this, because I did this on one of my investment properties a couple of years ago, and I want to take a shot for you. The concept on the signage, gang, is this: is that fluorescent arrow is driving people in. And my company policy was, whenever you did a public open house, you had to hang 10 of these up minimum in the neighborhood. And you'd hang them up high, so that when people are a half a mile down the road, it'll look eye level. But let me tell you why these signs were so powerful. Imagine that you've got 10 of these signs minimum out, and you're doing that every time you do an open house. Who else is seeing those signs? Everybody that lives in that neighborhood. And every weekend, after a while, people will say, I used to go on listing appointments, and a homeowner, I show them a picture and say, you ever see our signs? You say, oh, I see them every weekend. In other words, those signs weren't just promoting the open house. They were promoting my company and myself to all of the neighbors. This is powerful. Now, listen, this is a lot of extra work. You got to buy the signs. They're bigger, and you got to staple and put them out. So here's an easier way if you don't want to do that, which I encourage you to do. And that's going to D Signs. D Signs, we did a little research of all of the different flag companies out there that you can work with. And D Signs was the only one that we found that has that 11-foot flag sign. Big, right? Now, what you could do, this is the easier approach, is ordering a bunch of those and putting them out, not just in front of the house, but at the street where the main street is, to bring people in. And if you can put your address of the property in there, that's another way to do that. So this is just the pricing. We're not going to go into that. I've got some bonus information I want to just share with you about buyer tips. Even though we're talking about getting listings, I want to give you a little extra tips about working with buyers at these open houses. One of the mistakes I think that we make in our business is that as soon as a buyer walks in, we're trying to tackle them for their information. You know, give me your name, your telephone number, your blood sample, and they just met you. I have found the most effective way to get honest answers from a buyer at an open house is to ask for that information after you've toured them and showed them the house. And as you finish up the tour, you may say something like this: you know, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, you know, there's some other houses that I think are going to be coming on the market similar to this. If I see something that comes out on the market before anybody else knows about it, would you like me to reach out to you and let you know? Let me tell you something. You ask a buyer that, they're going to be like, yes, because people always want to know something that nobody else knows. So by you asking it that way, you're going to get that information. There's a couple of ways you could do that. Here's some forms, power agents, that we have for you guys. You can simply, and by the way, power agents, any of these forms, you're going to see them in the servicing listing section of the website. So jot that down, servicing listings, because doing an open house is servicing a seller.
Servicing sellers.
What's that?
Servicing sellers.
What did I say?
Servicing listing.
Servicing sellers. Thank you,
Servicing.
Julie.
Just look for servicing.
Just look for the servicing. It's alphabetical. Julie is the big brother. Listen to make sure I stay on track.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you, Julie. So the open house, you can do one of those. Here's another one. I like this one better because this asks for a little bit more information. So we have a few different signage. By the way, there's apps that you can actually do on your iPads if you want to have people do digital. That's another way to do it. Those of you like the paper and pen, there's something kind of cool about that still. Here's the other thing. Make sure you do follow-up calls to your buyers. The last little buyer tip I want to give you, and I'm going to just show you the follow-up dialogue that you can do with a buyer. When you call them, I'll jump to this part and say, the reason why I'm calling is that thank you so much for stopping by my open house. You stopped by, it was last Saturday at 1010 Hunna, right? I don't know if you remember, but the house was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It was listed at $495. The other thing I was calling about is I want to see, is that the style and price range you're looking in? There's some new listings that may come on the market that are really awesome. Would you like me to let you know about it? And then you continue to ask them the questions. You invite to take action. At some point, if you do a really good job of building rapport with that buyer when you follow up with them, here's how you schedule an appointment with them. In my office, we have what's called the 6-step buying process designed to help people like you find the right house with the least amount of aggravation. So what I actually like to do is find the time when you and your husband can come in, or you folks can come in, so I can share this valuable process with you, and we can go take a look at some other amazing new listings before they get sold, because this market is so hot. So you can when you follow up with your buyers, you should be generating appointments for them to come in. Now, I want to talk to the power agents for a second. Power agents, when you go to the classroom of the website, there is a section called Webinars on Demand. And when you go to Webinars on Demand, you will see a webinar that I did about how to create buyer loyalty. And that is a 1 hour specifically, went deep on that topic, that when you get a buyer into the office, what is that 6-step buying process? How do you get them to sign buyer agency agreement with you? Because you should always have that done before you show them anything. So anyway, power agents, make sure you watch the buyer loyalty one. Okay, let's talk about creating a mailing campaign to shake the trees, to find those hidden listings. So here's you all know, power agents, we give you a ton of stuff. I'm going to show you just some. We have over 500. I'm going to show you some of my favorite ones that you can use. Christine, I forgot this was here. Christina, one of our power agents, said the amount of information Dow gives is amazing. You're never at a loss. The investment is worth so much. Thank you, Christina. Appreciate that. So let me show you some of my favorites, okay? And some of the favorites of power agents. One of the mailing pieces that you can do into an area is a neighborhood market report. Now, what is a neighborhood market report? It is basically a CMA. But I tell power agents to call it a neighborhood market report. Here's why. Number one, everybody calls it a CMA. Number two, the civilians, that's the homeowners, they don't know what CMA stands for. Number three, competitive market analysis still doesn't tell me what it is. A neighborhood market report says exactly what it is. So I prefer that, because it'll make it sound different, and it'll also be self-explanatory. So you can send a certificate with that, with a little letter explaining, hey, I'm offering this to people in the neighborhood. Here's another mailing piece that you can send out to Mr. and Mrs. Hunna. Someday I'm going to find there's a real homeowner by the name of Hunna. And that is the over-the-phone market analysis. So we're a little flip on the CMA. We're going to market analysis, but it's over the phone. Meaning that, hey, listen, if you just answer a few questions about your property, I can still do a scientific market analysis over the phone. I don't have to come see you. I can do it over the phone. Now, here's the good thing about this. There are some people that'd be interested to talk to you, to explain their house. There's something not trusting still about doing online CMAs. So if I can talk to an agent, tell me, yeah, I did this improvement, here's my house, but I don't have to have you come in and try and sell me. That's attractive. Now, here's how that works. When you do an over-the-phone market analysis, you want to watch. Here's how it goes. So I say, hi, this is Darryl Davis. Yes, hi, I'm calling about your market analysis. Well, yes, hi, here's how it works. I need to ask you a few questions over the phone, and then I can go back to the computer, do a scientific market analysis, and then call you back a couple of days with the actual number. Do you have time for me to ask you some questions now? And she says, sure. So I said, so tell me, what kind of house do you have? Well, we have a colonial. Oh, I love colonial. Oh, by the way, my name's Darryl. What's your name, Mary? Okay, good. And so now, Mary, you have 4 bedrooms. Are they upstairs? Oh, this one. You have kids? Oh, I have a child too. Isn't that wonderful? You have pets? What's happening here? I'm building a relationship with another human being. By the time I'm done with this call, I'll say, all right, Mayor, not Mary, Mayor, let me go back to the computer. I'll call you back in a couple of days. How's that sound? You know what? I'm going to try rush for you tonight. Is that all right, Mayor? Okay, great. I call Mayor back. How you doing, Mayor? It's Darryl. Oh, hi, Darryl. Okay, good. And then I give her a range. Mayor, your house is worth somewhere between 400 and 475. Now, I know that's a big range. Yes, I 75, I can go shopping with that. For me to really come with an accurate number, Mayor, I need to actually come over and see your house. Why don't I do this? I don't mind. I want to find the time I can come over. I can get a more accurate number to you because I see the house and I can give you the report of all the things that I found. Anyway, that's how that works. Another thing you can do is sending out postcards, driving people to something of value. One of the favorite things that we created for the power agents is this home seller's guide for selling your house. Now, there's some guides out there, but I got to tell you, I think our guide is absolutely the best one on the market. Now, power agents, you have access to this, and you'll see at the bottom of every page, you can put your contact information in it, along with your contact information at the end. So you can print out this full color report. It's over 40 pages. I mean, we had a staff writers write this. I have such a great team. Anyway, what you can do is promote and advertise the seller's guide to real estate, selling your house. You can actually create a landing page. So I want you to imagine that if you mailed out a postcard saying, hey, if you want this free guide, go to a website, fill out some information, and then it'll get emailed to you. Or just call and I'll be happy to mail it to you, drop it off. So there's so many different ways that you can use this. You can use it as a door knocking item, put it on your website. You can give it as a listing presentation, also emailing it, signature. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this, okay? All right, here's the next thing, vacant land letter. So one of the things, there's people that got vacant land that's just sitting out there. Find those pieces of property where the land is just sitting there and it's not for sale, and do a mass mailing and promote that. Absentee owners, that's another avenue for leads. Now, there's places to find these resources. We'll talk about how do you find absentee owners, how do you find land. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. But the concept that I'm giving you is we're trying to find those hidden listings. See, a homeowner that has a home that they're not living in, and if they're renting it or it's not vacant or we got vacant land, these are all potential listings for us to shake the trees. Just doing a mass mailing, telling people, hey, I have a buyer. Now, let me just say something about the I have a buyer letter and I have a buyer telephone call, because we have dialogue for calling people saying I have a buyer that wants to buy in the area. I have never been a fan of the phone call or the letter that says I have a buyer, unless it's true. Because if it's not true, people can sense when you're not being authentic. In this hot market, it's almost always true, and homeowners can believe it. See, before it was such a hot market like this, you call somebody and say, I may have a buyer for your house. Yeah, that's what every agent says. But in this market, it could be very true. So just doing a mass mailing, telling people I've got a buyer who wants to buy in this neighborhood. If you do a closing and you've got a homeowner who's really happy with your work that you did when you sold their house, ask them to write a testimonial letter, but address it to their neighbors. So it says, dear neighbor, I'm going to just read the first time. I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about the sale we had at our home at 1010 Hana. We hired Darryl at Power Realty. He was awesome. We're naming our child after him when we have one. So the letter talks about how wonderful you are, but you mail the letter out. So they write the one letter, and you ask them to write this letter. When you tell the seller, listen, get ready for the closing. It's next week. Make sure you bring your keys and you bring this document and bring that testimonial letter as part of your closing documents. So that's how you can get them to do it. I would also promote to people, listen, this is a hot market. I would do a mail and just a flyer like this to a farm area saying, this market, now's the time to sell. Oh, what does Warren Buffett say? Here's an investment strategy. Buy low, sell high. We are high right now. Market's crazy. I think property values have gone up 40% in the last year. It's insane, nationally speaking. So anyway, we need to promote that more to homeowners. Now's the time to sell. By the way, I do want to address something. Well, Darryl, what about the homeowners who say, I want to sell, but where the heck am I going to move? There's a couple of options. Number one, in this market, it's totally acceptable for a homeowner to find a house first and then put their house on the market. That totally works in this market. But the second thing is some homeowners, they're willing to actually rent to sell at this high level, and maybe they'll move into temporary situations. So that's a possibility too. All right, let's continue on. Tap into your past clients. If you don't have past clients, everybody, I'm going to share some of you. I'm going to share with you an idea on how to still have past clients, even if you don't have any. It'll be coming up in a second. Now, let's say you've lost touch with your past clients. Here is the 5-step process to get in touch with your past clients that you have missed talking to them. You call them up, say, Hannah, hey, this is Darryl. By the way, don't call them Hannah, use their real name. Hannah, this is Darryl Davis. How are you? All right, good. Listen, recently I was thinking about my past clients and you came to my mind, and I just wanted to check in with you and John and see how you guys are doing. Oh, that's so nice. Talk about them and how they're doing. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on them. Don't talk about how great you are. I was thinking about you. I want to see how you and John are doing. So how are you guys doing? Okay, oh, great. And how's the kids doing? Things you get all acclimated. It's been a couple of years now. How do you like the house? Is it working for you? Everything good? Talk about them. Now, at some point, they're going to ask you how business is going. And this is what I want you to say. You say, because the interest rates are so low, Mary, here's what I'm finding. People are doing one of two things. People are either refinancing because interest rates are so low and they're taking cash out and they're putting it into their home. And in some cases, what they're doing is they're finding that based on the interest rates being so low, they can buy their dream home with very little increase in their monthly payments. So that's what we're finding. Those are the two people doing. Now, when you do that, that might stir on some questions. They'll be like, really, Darryl, is that what people, do you think we should refinance? Well, let me check. Do you remember what you're interested in? Let me see if I have it in my notes. And then you'll start talking business with them because they may see themselves in one of those two bullets, one of those two categories. And then you just get off the call and say, if there's anything you need, consider me your hotline. So that is your phone call to past clients that you have lost touch with. That's kind of to restart it up. Now, let me give you some other ideas for those of you that have past clients, newer folks, hang in there. I'll take care of you. But for those of you who've been around the block for a while, what you should do is try and visit not just past clients, but top people, referral people, people you think you want to stay connected with. Try and meet with your top 50 people quarterly. One of the things that we teach power agents is the smile stop. And the reason I think some other folks, they'll call it something else, but we call it smile stops. And here's why. We use the acronym SMILE. I don't know if you can see it there. It's a little small. SMILE. The acronym stands for service. You want to focus on serving, not selling. Then you want to meet them face to face. That's the best way to put a smile on somebody's face. When you do see them, invite them to talk. Let them talk about them. Focus on them. Then you leave a token of gratitude behind, and then you elevate the relationship by following up with them. So that's why we call them smile stops. Now, power agents, we give you a whole bunch of ideas for every month of the year of things that you can do. You shouldn't do them all. If you just see the screenshot, if you did all of this, you'd be in the party planning business. But the reason why we give you more, because we like power agents to have a smorgasbord. You pick what you like, use what works for you, right? So let me just give you an example for the month of July coming up. So July 9th, I didn't know if you knew this, is National Sugar Day. Sugar Cookie Day, I mean, sorry. So what you can do is have home cookies made by a local bakery, individually wrapped with cellophane bags, deliver them to, let's say, 10 of your top clients. It could be more, you're 50. And put a little note, Happy National Sugar Cookie Day. Thanks for being such a sweet client. You see, that's the fun part there. Let me show you the next one. National Ice Cream Day. Again, you wouldn't do all these. You pick one day. And this one here, it says, Happy Ice Cream Day. If you need the scoop on the real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Get the scoop on the ice cream. And then there's the National Lollipop Day. And the little thing, you just wanted to pop by on National Lollipop Day to say thank you for being such an amazing client. So we try and have fun with these. And that's it. All right. So here's some other tips for the past clients is you want to gather up all your past. I'm going to give you step-by-step now for working your past clients. Gather up all your clients, all the information. Gather up all of the orphans to adopt. Now, people that don't have past clients, an orphan, here you come. What an orphan is somebody who bought or sold through your company, and that agent who was involved in the sale no longer works for your company, so they're an orphan. So anyway, you ask your broker, can I adopt those as my past clients? And then what you're going to do is take all this, you're going to input it into your CRM. Everybody on this call should have a CRM. We have power builders for our power agent. Number 4 is mail an I'm sorry letter to your clients and a letter to the orphans. It's a different letter. Again, this is if you're restarting the connection with your past clients, and then do a follow-up call after the mailing. So let me show you the orphan letter as an example. So again, these are people who you're adopting as a past client. I'm going to just jump to one section of the letter that says, I'm delighted to let you know that Mary Hanahana has been specially selected to be your marketing specialist. Now, let me back up. This orphan letter is coming from your broker, not from you. So the broker is introducing you as the assigned agent. And then it goes on to talk about the company a little bit. But the second paragraph, Mary is, and you can punch in some specific verbiage about you, the agent, the power agent, about. And so the broker is kind of pre-selling you a little bit. Now, here's how you follow up to that mailing. Here's the dialogue. I'm just going to jump to a little bit. I told you we're going wide today, gang. We're touching a little bit of everything. Step 3, clarify. You'd say, the reason why I was calling Mrs. Hanahana is to apologize. It seems as though you bought a house from us about 5 years ago from my company. And the agent who is involved in that sale is no longer working for our company. So the reason for the apology is it seems as though we have lost touch with you. So I've been appointed as your new representative here at Power Realty, that if you ever need anything real estate related, I'm here to serve you. Oh, isn't that nice? By the way, how are you enjoying the house? Have you made any major improvements? And step 4, you just start asking questions to build that relationship, because this is going to now be your client. Now, when you're done with that call, you should, before you hang up, you should offer them something of value. You should offer them an updated market analysis or a neighborhood market report or some kind of seller's guide or improvements on a return on investment. Like, there's so many things that you can give as a value piece. That's what you should do when you end the call, is offer that value piece. Now, for those of you that have past clients that you lost touch, you should send the I'm sorry letter saying, hey, I'm sorry I lost touch with you. Dear Hanahana, you might be thinking, we never heard from Darryl much anymore, and wondering whatever happened to Darryl. Is he still in real estate? I'm writing today to apologize for being inconsistent. My follow-up, I think about you often, but I get so busy helping families that I'm working with now. I'm not always good at staying in touch, but I'm going to commit to staying in touch with you guys. I hope all is well. By the way, I'm going to talk to the power agents for a second. Power agents, what a lot of your fellow power agents starting to do is put in their email signatures and in their letters the fact that they're a power agent, because that's a registered trademark. Only you can use it as a member. And whoop, did something just happen here, Julie?
I don't think so.
Because it looks like I lost my screen share. Do you still see my screen?
Nope, I just see you.
You just see me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, gang, let me just see what happened there. I don't know what happened. I'm going to share my screen, and it just kicked me off for some reason, and it won't share the screen. Or there it is. Is it there now?
Dun, dun. Yep.
Okay, good. Sorry about that, gang. Oh, technology is wonderful when it works. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, power agents, because it's a registered trademark, we've created a little signature for you guys saying a power agent is a member of an exclusive program of dedicated professionals. Less than 1% of all agents across North America are actually power agents. They're committed to helping buyers and sellers get to their next level. So power agents, you should be branding and using that designation. Those of you that are guests on the call, if you become power agent, obviously you can do that. But if you have some other designation that really distinguishes you, you should put that in your signature. Okay, so here's the dialogue that you would use to do a follow-up call to your past clients, that first call to your past clients. Hi, Hanahana. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Sorry. Back up. I'm still a little distracted that we had a tech problem. This page here, there's 2 dialogues on it. One is for your past clients, that it's your first phone call to them. But the one that I want to focus on is also your friends and family, right? So, hi, Anthony, this is a blast from the past. How are you? So, gang, let me just tell you before I continue with this dialogue. There are people in your Rolodex in your phone, right, that you haven't been talking to, past friends and even relatives. you should be calling those people and start that relationship back up again. And so it may sound something like this. Hey, Anthony, this is a blast from the past. This is Darryl. How you doing? Okay, good. I was just going through my phone contacts, and I decided it was too long since we last talked. I thought I'd reach out to see how you're doing. And then they'll say, oh, I'm doing great. So they ask you how you're doing. I'm great. Now talk about anything other than real estate. Don't tell them I'm in real estate and it's going great. You want them to ask you, oh, so you're real estate. How's things going? The market's crazy. So whenever you're doing those intro calls, you want to make sure that they ask you about your business. Some other ideas of getting referrals from your past clients to shake the trees, those hidden listings, is sending out an anniversary card every year to all of your closed deals. You can do a postcard or you can do a letter, but every year they should hear from you as a minimum. You can also recommend other vendors. This is a letter as a template that you send out, let's say for staging or any other vendor that you work with in real estate. Listen, gang, as real estate professionals, we got a ton, listen what I'm saying. We got a ton of people that we could be referring out to other people, helping build their business. And in addition, what we should ask them is to give some discounts or free items to our past clients. You've got a ton of people under your umbrella that you can be using to build relationships with your folks. Doing seller workshops. There's people sitting right now in the kitchen table thinking about selling their house. You don't know this. They're not advertising. They didn't call because they're just talking about it. But imagine if they saw online or they got a mailing saying, hey, listen, I'm holding a workshop on how to sell your house in today's market. You can have guest speakers. That's what the flyer template is, where you can have a mortgage person there, a title company, home inspector, you. And so that way the burden is not all on you trying to deliver this seminar. You can actually have everybody take 15 minutes. Everybody took 15 minutes each, including you. There's an arrow right there. So that positions you as an expert. That's how you grab these hidden listings. One of our power agents, George Rosario, he took the template because George, he is in New York and now he's building a business in Florida. So he's got a team in New York, a team in Florida, and now he's going to be launching something in Vegas. I just heard from him. So he's doing a workshop June 30th this month. I took this off of his Facebook page. It's going to be a Zoom, and he's going to do a Zoom meeting about how to sell your house. Here's what I can guarantee you. Anybody who shows up on that, those are people who are thinking about selling their house. It's like doing a listing appointment. There's 20 people. It's like doing 20 listing appointments in one shot. You know, don't forget about calling and door knocking your community. Let me give you some suggestions here. Now, when it comes to dialogue, gang, there's so much dialogue in the Power Program. I'm going to just focus on a few items. I will tell you, I love Dennis, what he said. What he loves about our program is that what we try and do, and you can probably see this in new power agents and the guests, is that I'm giving you a fire hose of content, and I don't think you should do it all. What we try to do is give you so much and have you decide what works for you. Because as long as you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing. And if you do something that's consistent, right? So let me show you the dialogue for calling, let's say, your farm area, right? Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Fine. I hope I'm not interrupting you. The reason why I was calling is I've been sending you some information lately about the market to keep you informed about what's going on in the neighborhood. Have you been getting that information? They'll say yes or no. Doesn't matter. At this point, you're going to offer them something of value. Say, well, the other reason why I was calling is that one of the things we also have is a free report on, how to dress your house up for success, or how to sell your house in today's crazy real estate market. So that blank, you can offer something of value, or you can offer the free over-the-phone market analysis to somebody in the farm area. So one of the things I'm doing, a service that I provide too, is I give a market analysis over the phone. Here's how it works. So that's one thing that you can do in calling your farm. You can do the door knocking. I'm not going to go through the dialogue because the door knocking is pretty much similar to the phone. Same thing. You introduce yourself, making sure they're getting the content, and offer something of value, like a smile stop, something that you print out, a checklist, a form. Power agents, you got hundreds of things that you can bring to a door. Book of business. Here's what I'm going to suggest you do. Let me talk about book of business. You can actually have an admin do this for you. Many agents have boxes and boxes of files and outdated records and find themselves now needing to update their client records that include current email addresses. That's a huge thing. So some of you don't have updated email. So what you can do is hire an admin. And here's what they can do. Here's the dialogue for them. Hi, I'm calling for Darryl Davis, your neighborhood real estate agent. And we're just updating our clients' records. And I wanted to see if it would be all right for me to confirm the information that we have on file for you, right? Do you have a minute for me to do that? And then you just confirm whatever you want to confirm with that person. Here's what we have. If you can let me know if the information is correct, I can change it, because, a complete stranger, they may not be so forthcoming, but if you already have the information, you're confirming. Thanks for your time. By the way, is there anything I can let Darryl know right now? You want to tell Darryl you guys enjoying the house? Great. By the way, there's one other thing Darryl is offering his past clients, and that's an updated market report. Same thing. So the admin is not just calling to confirm the information, but also offering one of those things of value for you to follow up. Rent by owners. There's some homeowners that, especially in this moratorium that we've been dealing with, there's some landlords that are looking to maybe move their property. So calling these houses for rent, if they've got a vacant property, they're trying to get it rented. Here's just to give you an idea on that dialogue. I'm calling about the rental. Is the house still available? Yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis of Power Realty. How are you? Fine. The reason why I was calling, I see that you're renting your place, but I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would that be something you'd be interested in? Is that something you'd consider? So, gang, the point here is you can take a house rental, and maybe turn it into a listing. And then it goes on to say, if they say they're interested, you're going to build rapport with them. Simply ask questions about the property. That's not hard stuff. And then you set the appointment, right? So here's another one. New listings in the area dialogue. Julie, how are we doing? I think I got wasted so much information.
You're powering through it.
I'm powering through it again. I think I got more than we have in an hour, but all right, let's continue.
Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. So this is just 1 hour. Can you imagine if you gave me a whole day? It still wouldn't be enough time. All right, let's continue. By the way, I don't want people to get overwhelmed. Here's what I'm telling you. I'm giving you more than you can use. What I want you to do, I'm going to show you something at the end of the webinar that's going to make things so simple for you on what you should be doing. So wait for the very last slide. There's one form you're going to love, okay? Because actually, we just did a study and hundreds of people said, well, this is one of the best forms they love. All right, new listings in the area. What's interesting, when a new listing comes on the market, sometimes that new listing generates another listing, and almost always that listing is listed with a different broker. So if you have another real estate company that listed in your neighborhood, there's a good chance there's going to be a second listing and not with that company. So it could be you. So what I suggest you do is you call around the new listing, and it goes like this. Hi, may I speak with Mrs. Jones? Yes. Hi, this is Darryl Davis. How are you? The reason why I was calling is a new house just came up for sale in the neighborhood. And because that, we're expecting a lot of buyers who are going to be wanting to buy into the neighborhood. So I was wondering, have you heard of any neighbors thinking about selling in the future? You notice how I didn't ask that homeowner, hey, are you thinking about selling? No. Have you heard of any other neighbor? You see, because that's less intrusive. Yes, I had. Great, get the information. No, I haven't. All right, well then let me ask you, have you ever thought about selling? See, then you ask it on the second time. Well, no. Well, do you mind me asking, what do you think is the nicest feature about the area? How long have you lived in the neighborhood? If you're going to move, where would you move to? So now what you're trying to do, if they're not thinking about selling, you start still asking some of that rapport building questions because let me tell you something, gang, let me tell you what real estate is. Listen to what I'm saying. Real estate is not a one-time thing usually. Real estate is about planting seeds. I was talking to my team about this. I was talking to my son, who's also a salesperson, not real estate, something else. That sales is about planting seeds, like a farmer plants seeds. You don't plant a seed and then wake up the next day and get upset that you don't have a crop all of a sudden. No, what do you got to do? You got to water it. You got to fertilize. You got to let the sun do its job. You know what you need? You need time and patience. But what do you got to do? You still got to at least plant the darn seed. Real estate is that. It's all about planting seeds. All these little things over time, all of a sudden, this is how you become a top agent. Okay, so we're planting the seed here with the homeowner. I call a homeowner I'm going back. There's a new listing that came out for sale, and I'm just calling the neighborhood. But that conversation is about building rapport with another human being. So maybe later on, in a few months, 6 months, a year, they'll think of me. Invite action. By the way, one of the things we're offering neighbors is a free neighborhood report. Same thing. Always offer something of value. Power agents, you are never at a loss of offering something of value to people. Calling old FSBOs. I'm not talking about senior citizens, although that is a market you could pursue. Now, I'm talking about people who tried selling the house 6 months ago as a for sale by owner and they stopped advertising. Old expired, same thing. Not just expired that expired today, but the ones that expired 6 months ago. And off the market, OTM, off the market people. Now, I'm a big fan of RedX. RedX is one of our vendors that we push the heck out of because what they do, they give power agents on a silver platter. You see it at the bottom of the screen? Expireds, FSBOs, for rent by owners, pre-foreclosure. Storm Dialer is not a lead gen. It's a software to help you make your calls if you want it. But this is what it looks like when you have a RedX account. You log in, there's all your leads given to you on the silver platter. You click on one of those, and bing, there's all the contact information, a picture of the house, the description of the property. You can actually have the software dial for you, which is an awesome technique and strategy. You can have it leave messages for you if people. Anyway, this, I don't have time to talk. This will be an hour all of itself. I think actually, did we do a webinar, Julie, on how to use the RedX system? Did we do that?
We did. It was very it was a power agent webinar, and it was intense.
It was intense. So we have time. I need another hour to go over the RedX, but the RedX is really,
webinars on demand.
That's in the webinars on demand, power agents. Okay. Now, here's the dialogue for calling those old FSBOs. Dear, may I speak with Hannah? Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is a record show you tried selling your house 6 months ago. Is that correct? Well, the reason why I was asking is because my company listed a lot of homes in the area around that same time, and those properties did sell. Can I ask you, where were you folks thinking of, were you ever thinking of selling again? And where were you thinking of moving to? And you just basically ask those questions and build that relationship and see if there's a possibility that these people are thinking about selling now. See, some people that tried 6 months ago and they weren't successful, they took the house, they said, forget it. But as the months went on and the market went up and values appreciated, they may be sitting at that kitchen table once again saying, maybe, honey, we should give it a second shot. Maybe now's the time to sell. And there's a bunch of different ways where you can ask on that appointment. Now, if you do get a voicemail, you want to leave a message saying, hey, I understand you guys tried selling your house, and I have some important information about that. It might even possibly have somebody who would be interested, but I need to get some information for you first. Could you call me back? I will tell you, power agents, that dialogue is magical. You should just read it pretty much word for word. They call you back 50% of the time. The expired dialogue, it's kind of similar to the old FSBO when you say, hey, can I speak with Mrs. Hannah? This is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. The reason why I'm calling, I know your house expired off the MLS, and I was wondering, is the house still for sale? If they say yes, you want to clarify, did they put it back on MLS? Because maybe you missed it. If they say, no, the house is not for sale. Whoops, we just lost my screen share again. Hang on. Again. All right, we'll fix that. I don't know what's going on today, Sarah. We're going to have to tell our company what's going on over here. Let's see if it comes back. It's coming back. There we are. All right. So, expired dialogue. So, if they say that it is the house still for sale and you ask them and they say, no, it's not, you want to ask, oh, did you sell it? No, we did not. Now, if it's not for sale and they didn't sell it, that means it's potential. So then you start going on, and let's just go to this. You want to gauge their commitment level. Say, I'm looking at a copy of the listing of the MLS. I'm a little surprised the house didn't sell. Why do you think that is? And then let them just talk. Say, well, it didn't sell because the agent didn't do something, or because we were asking too much, or we weren't really committed, or we didn't get showings, or anything like that. Doesn't matter. Then you ask them, well, let me ask you this, Miss Jones. I understand that it was probably frustrating for you, but let me ask you this. If I had a buyer who's willing to pay you a price that you need to make the move a success and you can still get to Florida, that's because most of the New York ones are moving to Florida, and the time frame you want and the money you need, is that something you'd consider? It's a great way to breathe life into an expired. And, of course, you got to have your dialogue for voicemail with the expired as well. The dialogue should tease them to call you back. That's the important part of that. Vacant properties. Okay, let's talk about vacant properties. Calling vacant properties. Hi, I'm calling about the property at Hannah. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling to see that your house has been sitting empty for a long while, and I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy at a nice profit for you, would you be interested? Is that something you'd be interested in? Very simple. Let me tell you, when you're talking to landlords, you're talking about vacant land, you can go right to the I don't want to use the word close, but you can talk business right out the gate. When you're calling a homeowner FSBO, you got to massage that. But when it comes to this level here, you can get right to the punchline with them. You start asking rapport building questions that any buyer would ask about the house, so about the land, not bedrooms and baths, this is vacant land. But ask them about the square footage, how big is it? Is there any pipage, sewage or electric ran to it? And then confirm and set an appointment. Very simple. Vacant land is very simple dialogue. One of the things you can do too is offer, one of the things of value you can offer to especially landlords, even homeowners, is the top 10 projects to increase a home's value. So that's one of the things you can offer. If you're not going to get that appointment, say, well, I've got something on the top 10 projects that can really increase the value of property. I can send it to you. I can mail it to you, email it to you. Do you mind if I send it to you? Just so you have it. I think it'd be valuable. Repairs to consider before selling your home is another piece that you can send to an expired, to a FSBO. So always have, when you're making your calls, gang, my point here is always have some kind of piece of value that you can, before you end the call, offer to send that to them and ask them if they'd be interested in it. I've got some bonus material. Boy, oh boy. Here's some bonus material that we have for you guys. And by the way, I'm gonna end in a minute to open up for questions. So if you have some questions, you can start writing it on the chat now. You won't see it pop up on the screen because my team holds your question. Then they read it for me to answer it. So don't panic if you don't see it posted. Just write your question. Now, here's some bonus material. When it comes to prospecting and shaking the trees, you want to create that space for yourself. You know, some of you are into working out, going to the gym. The gyms are opening up again, and you're very excited. I know. I don't care. I don't go to the gym, as you can tell. My idea of a good workout is I fill up my bathtub, I pull the plug, and I fight the current. To me, that's a good workout. But those of you that love to go to the gym, you know how you do it, right? There's certain days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You go certain days, certain times, no matter what. You got to do the same thing. When we're talking about finding these hidden listings, it's very important you schedule your time during the week. I don't care if it's an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, but pick a specific day and a specific time a few times during the week when you're going to shake the trees and make it rain. And you tell everybody, do not disturb. Like if you're working out of your house, this one over here, put your family's photo in the thing. You tell your spouse and the kids, listen, I'm prospecting for you. So leave me alone now for the next 60 minutes. I'm planting seeds. I said to my son, I told my son about the whole farming analogy and prospecting. He texted me this morning. He said, Dad, I've been on the phone I talked 3.5 hours and I generated this many leads. I said, wow, that's incredible, Michael. Here's what my son said. He said, yeah, just call me a gardener, because I give him this analogy about planting. I'm a gardener. I'm gardening today, baby, planting the seeds. Here is one of the forms that our students love is this Power Agent Activity Tracker. And what this is, you can take a lot of what we covered today or add some others or delete some other, whatever, and you put it on one side of your chart. And at the top, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you play a game. It's called gamification. Gamify. You want to gamify real estate. Make it fun. All right? Especially when it comes to prospecting, because some of you don't like the prospect. Make it fun. And say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to at least do 2 of the items today. You know what? I don't feel like planting. I don't feel like being a gardener. But I got to do something. Let me do at least 1. Today, I feel excited. I'm going to go for 3. So you gamify every day that you do at least 1 item. And the more you do, the better. And that's what we got. Oh, one other thing here. We did this. We created this. Power Agents, this is in your time management section of the website. We created this 30-day commitment thing. Because I said this on a webinar one time. I said, you know what? Can you imagine if you just talked to 1 buyer and 1 seller? Or did I say 2? I think it was 2. Hey, let's just do 1. Pretend that you spoke to just 1 homeowner about possibly selling the house and 1 buyer about possibly buying a home. And you did that every day for 30 days. 30 times 2, 60. Come on. If you had 60 conversations with buyers and sellers, do you think in 30 days you're going to see some difference in your business? I think so. So anyway, I said that in a webinar one time when our coach, not a webinar, it was on our coaching calls, and Julie created this commitment thing, again, to gamify, to market. Okay, listen, we're going to answer questions, but before we do, I want to talk to the guests now for a minute, because I've been talking to Power Agents. Guests, I have a gift for you. I want you to check this out. After I do this, we're going to open up to questions. If you're a guest right now, you can get access and become a Power Agent for only $5 today. And you're going to have complete access, complete, unrestricted to the Power Program website. You're going to get these bonuses. And listen, you can cancel anytime. Now, after the $5 trial, which is 30 days, then if you want to continue, it's only $47 a month. No long-term contract, cancel anytime. Part of the program includes live coaching calls every Monday for 2 hours with me. It's actually advertised as an hour, but we seem to go 2 hours. This is where you can talk to me. This training model here, I'm talking, you're watching and listening. You can write some questions, but the Monday coaching calls, you take yourself off mute. If we have to role play, we'll role play. I can talk to you, ask you questions. One of our Power Agents, Sean, he said, I don't make a penny off of endorsing Darryl. I was very skeptical in the beginning. The $5 drew me in, but you cannot spend a better $47 a month being coached by a knowledgeable, ethical coach who works hard for you. I'm so forever. I love that. Thank you very much, Sean. You're a wonderful guy. Thank you. Thank you. These webinars are recorded every Wednesday. So we do this every week, and then we put them on demand for you so you have access to them. There's a Power Agent closed group, which is incredible and awesome. There's also the Power Program website. I'll show you just some screenshots right now. When you go to the Power Program website and you click on Classroom, because that's where the magic is, there are all these areas of real estate that are sorted alphabetically, like, working with buyers or farming and self-promotion or the listing appointment or negotiating offers. So let's say you needed help with farming and self-promotion, like you need something, right? You go there and there's literally hundreds of forms and flyers that you can customize every single one of these, and you can send them out and print them out, keep them locally. We added a favorite feature because there's so much great content in the site, and it saves it in a separate folder for you. So you can take the 500 plus items and dwindle it down to your favorites. We use a similar search technology that Google uses. So let's say you had a challenge with FSBOs and you type in the word FSBO, it will show you everything related to FSBOs, whether it's training, whether it's the dialogue for calling FSBOs, infographics, mailing pieces, etc. So that's all the FSBO stuff. And here's the bonuses that you guys get, the guests today. So when you sign up, you're going to get this sent to you immediately. It's not like it's immediate. You're going to get an email with 103 slides in a PowerPoint that you can use on listing appointments, whether it's virtual or in person, because it's a PowerPoint. There's a recording on how to deliver my listing appointment, which I listed FSBOs, and my batting average is, if I went on 10 listing appointments, I listed 7 out of 10. So you're going to get my listing appointment along with, we have this breakthrough business plan. I think it's the best one in the business because it shows you how to generate now business, how to generate future business, and financial freedom. So there's actually 3 plans built into the one. If you are a new agent or you're an existing agent and you need to restart your business, we have a guide for you. It's 29 pages. The most requested dialogues, calling FSBOs, expireds, voicemail, messages, all that. And you get to keep all this. How to set up a business page if you need help with that on Facebook. This guide, so I'm almost done with these bonuses. This guide here is you give to your buyers or to your seller when you have multiple offers. So this explains prior to the offer situation, like it prepares your buyers for the craziness. And it helps the seller manage the craziness. Along with that, we created this Excel spreadsheet that for a homeowner. So when you are a listing agent, you've got multiple offers, you can use this spreadsheet. It's a file that you'll get where you can have the homeowner see what the net is and the benefits and the pluses of all the different offers. So that's really cool. Plus, you'll get a copy of today's slides. You'll get a recording of today's webinar at your disposal. You'll get a CRM if you need a CRM if you don't have that. So that's everything that we're giving you guys. It's actually valued at almost $1,900, but you get it for $5 and you get to keep it. There's one last thing, and then I'm going to go to the questions, and that's this. We had a goal at the beginning of the year, January, to get 100,000 meals for Feeding America, because of the pandemic has really done a number on food insecurity in America. And as of right now, we are at 78,000, almost 79,000 meals. And this is our last 30-day push. So what I want you to know is your $5, 100% of that money goes to this goal that we have of Feeding America, because every dollar Feeding America can do 10 meals. So your $5 actually pays for 50 meals. So that's our last push for this month, and I just want you to know. And that's it. Julie, I'm on the wrong slide, so I'm done. Okay. So that's it. So we're going to open up to questions now.
Fantastic. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let me just get some coffee. I'm a little dehydrated. Although coffee doesn't make you hydrated, does it?
No, it goes the other way, but that's okay. It keeps you've been talking really fast, so you need more.
All right.
Becky asked, have you ever offered a giveaway to encourage buyers to fill out that open house sheet?
Yeah, you could do that. You could so do that. So let me repeat what you said. Could you have a buyer tell buyers, hey, listen, we're also doing a raffle. So it's for color TV, for example, which, by the way, you can have your mortgage lender or title company or somebody pay for the raffle. You know, a bottle of something is okay, but something that's big, a food processor, like something that doesn't maybe cost a lot, like color TV, you can get those inexpensive now, right? You can get for a couple $100. So, and some people put them in their garage because it's free. So it should be something of substantial size, but doesn't cost a lot. And you can absolutely use that as a raffle to get people to fill out the information. I would still do it at the end of the tour. Okay, next question.
Yes. How do you handle people that refuse to provide you with contact information or want to give you fake information?
Yeah, it's because you're asking in the beginning. I know that's true. I know whoever asked that question, you are not asking at the end of the tour. You're asking at the beginning, and that's why I told you should ask at the end. And if they're still resisting and giving you the information at the end, here's why. Because you did a really bad job of building a rapport with them during the tour. So that tour is an opportunity, just like a listing appointment, to build that relationship with them. Which, by the way, there's certain things that the pandemic has helped in restaurants and businesses. It's made things more efficient in some respects. And I believe this is one of them, which is instead of doing open houses where buyers just come in, walk in at their freedom, that you would keep people waiting on the line and letting them in. I think even after the pandemic, we should continue doing that. Here's why. It creates a line, it creates an image. It also controls the showing, that you're only working with one person at a time. So you're building that connection better. Anyway, let's go on. Next question.
Wonderful. Darryl, where can I find the How to Create Buyer Loyalty?
Yeah, so let me go to the website. So I'm going live now to the site, gang. So when you're a power agent and you're logged in, when you go to Classroom, this Classroom is where a lot of the magic is. So you'll see buyers, farming. These are listing and selling stuff. Negotiating offers, listing appointments, objection handling, prospecting, blah, 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 servicing listings, social media, time management, tech tools and training. But when you go to webinars on demand, everything is alphabetical. You're going to see the webinars that we post here, gang, is in order of date. Yeah. So like, for example, how to get your offers accepted in today's crazy real estate market. That was the webinar I did last week, and so on and so forth. So on this page, there is the buyer webinar, which is right here. It was February 17th. how to create buyer loyalty. Now, power agents, one other thing is I'm going to go back because I do want to tell you when you go to webinar registration, I'm going to be doing a similar version of that webinar, how to prepare your buyers in a seller's market. That's coming up on June 23rd. And I'm going to cover that topic again, just a little different slant to it. Next question, Julie.
There's also the buyers tab, and you'll find the forms that he talks about in that buyers tab, Woody.
Yeah, so let's go to buyers. So that was the training. So the buyer loyalty is that webinar. But when you go to the buyers tab, a lot of what I teach in that how to create buyer loyalty is in the buyers. And there you will find, look at this. There's the buyer's guide to real estate. That book is like 40 pages. There's the loan checklist. There is the moving checklist for kids. There's the e-guide. This is one of our newest things. Julie, how big is that e-guide thing?
I know it's over 20 pages.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I love this. This is a guide that you would give to a buyer. It's a great icebreaker. It's a great follow-up tool. By the way, you'll notice something else, Power Agents, is that we added this not too long ago, and we're still converting stuff, but you'll see it, and that's Spanish. So a lot of the things that would go to that you would give to, we have a Spanish version as well for you guys.
On that note, Darryl, when you give that guide to the guide to selling your home, doesn't that take you out of the picture? It's completely customizable, Shannon.
Yes. By the way, also in that buyer thing, because somebody asked today about the iInvestors that we call iBuyers, but when we talk to sellers, you should call them iInvestors. I did a whole webinar on iBuyers and how that's bad for a homeowner. The homeowner should run away from it. They're going to lose money. And there's slides that you can use there too, that you can use on an appointment with a homeowner to explain it. So, okay.
In the current market where offers often far exceed the list price, are CMAs still useful?
Yeah, you need a starting point in somewhere. I will tell you what really works when you're on a listing appointment with the CMA is show the homeowner not just what's sold, because you do want to educate them, but you should show them what their current competition is. And that's where more of the focus should be on during the listing appointment, is showing them, listen, if you want to list your house at 600 grand, let's look at what other homes that are for sale at 600 are. Are they nicer than yours? If that's the case, at 600, we're going to be selling your neighbor's homes. So maybe we need to go 585 or something, right? And the opposite is true as well. So use the current listing inventory to help you price your properties. Next question.
Perfect. While you're right there on this site where you see the logo, we've had a couple power agents that are asking how do they include, where do they get their logo and that tagline that you gave. So it's right there. It's called the Power Agent Purpose.
So listen, gang, what you do is when you're in the classroom and you go Power Agent Purpose, everything is alphabetical. So if you just think like my favorites, where's my favorites? Farming, right? So if I'm a new agent, so think alphabetically. So Power Agent Purpose, when you go to Power Agent Purpose, that is where you will find, first of all, we have VIP Power Agents every month. And, but there's your logo. You can download the logos. And at the top, the logo, the signature, where's the signature, Julie?
Right there. A sample email signature line. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 3 down.
Okay, here it is. So here is the sample signature line. A power agent is a member of an exclusive group. So gang, that's what you would do. You put your name, comma, power agent, and don't forget to put the R. The R means that it's owned. So non-power agents, they can't use that term, right? So we have a law firm that's all they do is because once in a while we see people using it and they get a letter from my attorney, cease and desist, biddy bing. You know, here's an interesting little side note. Zillow, before they came out with Premier Agent, it was actually called Power Agent. That was years ago. So it's not, we shut that down, but it was a little tidbit thing. All right, next question, Julie.
Sonia's confused about orphans. Doesn't the client data belong to the agent that sold or bought the house?
No, or very good question. The leads of any agent actually belongs to the company. Unless the agent was in of itself a broker. It depends on your state, right? So if some states, if you're like a broker working under a broker's license, you could maybe keep your own business, but most markets, most parts of the country, if you're working for a broker, the broker owns the leads. So if an agent leaves that broker and they go to another company, that stays with the broker, and those are the orphans, and then you can adopt them. Next question.
Anne said, wanted to tell you I used one of your purchase offer techniques to offer a tangible item, and 2 of my offers were accepted the same day. One, my client threw in plane tickets since the sellers were moving back home. The other was a pizza to use during the seller's moving days. So thank you. Great job, Anne.
Great job. Great job.
Carmen says, I have a homeowner. I have an owner who wanted to sell her townhouse in New York City last year before COVID. She's planning to sell and move to Croatia, but has been reluctant because of the decline in the market. Now that things are on recovery, how would I approach her? So she's thought about moving before, and then she stopped, and now she wants to move again. How does she reapproach her?
So I'm not sure. So what market is declining? New York City? Is that wanted to sell her townhouse? Is that what she means, that New York City market is declining?
I'm not sure. Can you?
Yeah. So, but here's what I would say, Carmen, because it doesn't matter actually. So you can't, when it comes to buying or selling real estate, you don't want to do it trying to time it, because if you try and time it based on now is a great market, a bad market, the declining market, up, you're going to lose probably. Long-term real estate is a good investment no matter what. That's number one. Number two is people should buy or sell based on the quality of their lives and what they're committed to, what their next level is. So if this woman, for example, is really committed to moving to Croatia, and that's what would make her heart smile, that's what matters. You know, does she take, if she's got to take a hit in selling her townhouse for less than what maybe if she didn't, it had sold it sooner? Yeah, but it's not about that. It is more on the commitment and the reason why people are selling, and not make it such a money thing. The only time it should be a money thing is when you're talking to investors. Are we okay, Julie? I keep getting a message.
Yeah, I did glitch for a minute, but you're back online.
Okay, next question.
Yes. So you talked about the coaching calls. Are those recorded for those of us on the West Coast?
Yes. So here's what happens. If you are not, if you're not available to be on one of the calls, what you can do is you'll see where it says you have a question. I'm on the coaching section of this site right now. If I click on a question, you can submit your question for the next coaching call, fill it out here, and it goes directly to me. Then what happens is that during the coaching call, I'll read your question and it gets recorded and you can hear my answer. Now, I know you guys can't see it. This call was 1 hour and 20 minutes. This was 2 hours. This was 1 hour and 54. The calls are supposed to only be 1 hour, but they keep pushing 2 hours. And these are all of the coaching calls that were recorded. Some people tell us the Monday coaching calls are so worth the $47 a month. But again, if you're a guest, it's $5 to really check this out for yourself. Next question, Julie.
Yes. What time are those calls?
They're 11 o'clock Eastern time. Oh, like I said, if they go 1 hour, go to 12. So California would be 8 in the morning to 9. And I hope that's not too early for you. You should get your tushy out of bed. Here's the other thing, too. We have the tone for the entire week. So Monday sets the tone for the week, yeah? Next question, Julie.
Dave said early in the presentation, you said you had 1-page sheet that would help greatly. Can you share what that was? Power Agent Dave.
Here, Dave, here's the 1 page that power agents love. It's this one here, buddy. It's this one because here you can, now this one's a picture. I can't customize it. But if you go to the time and money management, I'll show you actually. Let me show it to you live, power agents. So if you go to time and money management, because time and money management is where all the charts and things to help you stay focused. Like here's a quarterly marketing calendar. Here's a monthly plan. This is your business plan. There is the 30-day challenge, the listing inventory chart, the dot board, which is a famous thing. But here is one version of that chart. And oh, you see this one, you can't customize either. What's going on, Julie?
I don't know. I'll make sure that we change that.
All right, so we'll change that out. So that should have been customizable. So that's the chart that I just showed you is the one that should be here. So it'll be loaded shortly. Okay, we'll fix that. By going back to it to answer Dave, this is the chart, and you'll be able to customize the activity to the left and the colors on the right. Okay. Next question, Julie.
Well, while you're in there, can you show the calendar? Meanwhile, I thought you were still on the time and money management. I know our agents love the calendar.
So I can go to the calendar. So every month, what we give for the power agents as well is this calendar, which is, it shows you every day if there's one thing that you wanted that you could do to improve your business, what would that one thing? So it's like this one calendar is like a motivational training thing all in one, because if you ever question what you should do, just look at this calendar. Now, in addition to that, we actually created a weekly calendar too. Now, I prefer the weekly calendar. Here's why. Because the weekly calendar still has the daily suggestions, but this is my favorite part, is this right here where it says the top 3 things I'll accomplish this week. The thing that I know about busy people, sometimes we may be doing a lot of work, and at the end of the day or end of the week, we don't feel like it's like, what did I accomplish this week? I know it was working, but what did I really accomplish? So this right here helps you say, listen, if there's no matter what I do on my to-do list, I got to make sure that I accomplish these 3. If I accomplish these 3 things, it'll help improve my business and move the ball down the court. So it helps you stay focused. I learned that from Warren Buffett. Focus on your top 3 things that you must get done this week, and that's the focus. All right. Next question.
Jean asked, should I take a cash buyer out on a showing without proof of funds?
There's Jean, that's up to you. Like some people say, what if they have the cash, why would they have a problem proving it? So if they're not willing to do it, then you got to be concerned about the relationship. That'd be one thing. The other people would say, I will work with buyers about pre-qualifying them, because if they like a house and they're really committed to buying, they'll find the money somehow. So there's 2 schools of thought, Gene, and you've got to make that personal decision. Next question.
Excellent. Darryl, where do I?
There?
I am. Can you hear me? Priscilla asked, if you have prospective clients you're working with under one broker, then you change brokers, and the prospect wants to work with me, no open transaction with the past broker. Why can't I work that broker referral if they want to work with me under the new broker? It's a lot of broker.
You can, Priscilla. Priscilla, you can, as long as your old broker is okay with you taking that book of business with you. So that depends on what your broker is willing to do. So if your broker that you're leaving, they're the one that has the decision on that. If they tell you, no, Priscilla, you can't work that person, I'm going to assign that to another agent in my office. That's what you'll have to do. I will tell you one other thing. When it comes to these things, brokers should have a written policy that addresses when an agent leaves the company. Here's what happens with all of their buyers, all of their sellers, all of the current deals under contract. So there should be a system written. It's called an exit strategy. Now, if a broker doesn't have that, which most brokers don't, then the courts would look at what did the broker do in previous situations where agents left the company, and that becomes the pseudo rule. So just a little tidbit there. Next question, Julie.
Darryl, where do I find the directory?
The directory. When you go to the dashboard, so I'm going to go to the dashboard. The dashboard is where all the cool stuff is. You have the classroom, which we've been poking a lot in. Then there is the weekly coaching calls that get recorded there. This is your CRM. If you don't have a CRM, we have one called Power Builder. A lot of the forms, flyers, and checklists are in that CRM for you. If you have your own CRM, then you download our Power Agent stuff into your CRM. This is the directory for referring business back and forth to other Power Agents. That was the question that you asked me, right, Julie?
Correct. Where do they find it? In the dashboard.
Yeah, in the dashboard. And then you have the Facebook close group. So if you click on that one, when you're a Power Agent, it'll bring you to the, I'm sorry. Okay, this is, all right, that's me getting married, and that's because Julie posted that. I apologize. So there's a couple of those. But this is the Power Agent closed group for brainstorming. Only Power Agents have access to that. There's a tutorial section for you for the new Power Agents to help you get familiar with the website. And we have every Tuesday, there's a training session for you to help you get acclimated to the site. There's a quick start guide. There's how to use the directory, how to update your so there's a lot there for you. This is your profile billing. This is how to register for upcoming webinars. But the most magical, most important, the four most important things is the classroom, the coaching calls, the directory, and the closed Facebook group. Those are the three most awesome things.
Wonderful. Priscilla, back to if she changes brokers, what about when there's no buyer rep agreement while under your old broker? So can she take her buyers with her? Is her question.
Yeah. No, once again, they're not your buyers, whether they sign or not. Even if they sign an agreement with you, your buyers, your sellers, your listings, your whole entire book of business belongs to the broker, period. Now, it's up to your broker to decide if he'll let you take it or not. Next question, Julie.
Lisa, I sent a letter to a seller regarding a house my buyers are interested in. Sellers knew who the buyers were. Seller contacted the buyer directly, indicated that they would be willing to move in October, and had them come over to check out the house. Buyers and I are meeting the seller tonight. How do I start this conversation asking the seller to pay my commission? In my buyer's agency, I've written in it that the seller won't pay buyer if it's a FSBO. I guess she has a buyer.
I don't. So it doesn't make sense. The last sentence grammatically. So, Lisa, here's what I can tell. If you have a buyer agency agreement, then the buyer is protecting you in getting paid your commission. Right. Let me just close something here because I keep seeing, I keep getting this weird message about becoming unstable. By the way, if we lose our connection, I'm going to finish answering, but if you're a guest, before we lose connection, because it seems like there's a lot of traffic right now, you should just click on that trial for that $5 so that way you can get all that bonuses that we just talked about. So don't dilly-dally, click on that. You can still stay on the call, but make sure you at least open that page for yourself. If you have a buyer agency agreement and the buyer agency agreement says the buyer recognizes that you're getting paid X amount of dollars or some, how the seller doesn't want to pay you a commission, well, you just negotiate the price, right? So if, let's say, the price gets agreed upon is $500,000, right? And in your buyer agency agreement, there's an agreement for you to get paid 3%. That'd be dollars. What you would do is the contract price would read $515,000 and change. It's a little bit more than that. And that way you'll get your 15 grand. The seller gets their 500. The buyer's not paying out of their pocket. So in other words, your commission is built into the price of the contract price.
Love it.
So that's how you would do that.
Oh. If you can go back, there we go. That's
Sorry.
Okay. So the CRM, is that extra?
Yeah, so the CRM is an additional because not everybody needs the CRM. So if you have a CRM, you don't need that. If you need the CRM, then we have it as an option for you. You don't have to get it. The cool thing about the Power Builder CRM is that everything that's in, I'm going to show you guys something. And that is an extra fee. I'll tell you what that is in just 1 second. So I'm going into the farming section. This is just the farming tab. And in the farming tab, you will see, and it's a little slow right now because I know there's a lot of people that are on the site right now. There's all the e-guides that we put together. Here, these are flyers. Every one of these flyers you can customize with your contact information, your company information, etc. And I'll point one out in just a second. Like this flyer here. I showed this flyer earlier today during the call. So it's downloading right now. And once it's done, I'll open it. But going back to the CRM, do you see where it says letters? All of these letters are Word documents, but these letters are also in the Power Builder. So that way you don't have to upload those. We did it for you. Now, this is an example. This is one of the flyers I showed you guys, and you'll notice that I'm moving it around because let's say you don't like those points, you can delete it. And here's where you can put your contact information, yada, yada. So everything that we created, you'll be able to even edit the text, which you probably won't want to. You can drop your information in there. You can remove logos, any of that stuff. But that's to answer your question. The CRM is an extra $49 a month, which also includes social media streaming, where it'll post things for you every day on your social media site. And I mean, in your platforms, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, there's a lot. These are all of our newsletters. There's so great stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
While you're on the site there, please show them where the chat is, because if you guys have any questions, I know we've got some glitches. If you have any questions, our team is ready and waiting. They can answer any questions you might have. Just click on that little button.
Yeah, when you send, what's really awesome about our site is when you send us a message, you see like there's several faces there because they're online right now. So what happens when you
Darryl? So what happens is if you click on that chat, one of our
saying, hey,
whoever's
I'm going to connect.
Yay.
Julie, can you hear me?
I can.
All right. So what happens when you click, we'll see if that fixes it, what I just said. If you click on that chat and you send out a message, it'll go to everybody and they'll respond. So our chat is off the hook awesome because we have such a large group of people that'll be there to respond.
And they're live human beings. It's not a bot.
That's right. It's real human beings.
Darryl, can you add the CRM at any time?
Yes.
You get the first.
Yeah. If you're a new power agent, I suggest that you do not. I see you, Chris. I suggest that you don't get the CRM until you get acclimated a little bit in the first 30 days of the program, and then add the CRM in the second 30 days. Chris, the additional price for the CRM is $49 a month. No long-term contract, and you get 30 days free there as well. So what I would do, if you don't have a CRM, I would become a power agent. You have to be a power agent to get the CRM. But I'd be a power agent first for the $5 so you can get your way of the land, and get familiar, be on the coaching calls, etc. And then after several weeks or even after the first 30 days, then get the CRM for another 30-day free the CRM. That's what I would do.
Polly's a broker and she just joined to become a power agent. How can she share this same deal with her agents?
Go to this website here, which is the trial. Do you see it there?
Yeah. So it's darrylspeaks.com/trial. And any new agent can sign up there if you want to refer. There is a referral section on that order form, Polly. So please do have your agents make sure that they're putting your name in there. For any agents that refer, we actually have a contest every month, and we actually do a one-on-one coaching. So we choose the people that have referred the most, and you get a one-on-one coaching call.
So when they click on that, this is what it looks like. It says name of referrer and the email. So make sure they put your contact information in there, like Julie just said. And then this on the order form page, it's showing you everything that you're getting that's included as part of you signing up. So, okay.
Perfect. Luana says, when calling, how do you make certain that you are not in violation of the do not call list? Great question.
Well, if you use the something like RedX, they will tell you, Luana, who is on the do not call list, and then you can decide whether to call those people or not. So if you're just cold calling people and they're on the do not call list, you probably shouldn't. You could get away with it if you're not soliciting. Soliciting means you're calling somebody saying, hey, will you list with me? That's soliciting. But if you're calling because you want to help them or offer them something or mail them something, that's not selling. So it's actually okay. FSBOs and expireds, if they're on the do not call list, you 100% absolutely can call them. FSBOs and expireds do not fall under the do not call list.
Perfect. Darryl, is there a long-term contract? Can I cancel anytime if I sign up for the first 30 days? Did we lose you? I'll answer that question. Yes, you can. Once you sign up for the first 30 days, you can cancel at any time. There's no long-term contract. There's no long-term obligation. You can cancel at any time. Did we lose? I think we lost him. Any other questions? Please use the Q&A panel there. Rochelle says seller can cancel listing with broker so he can go with another agent to a new broker. Again, I think we answered that earlier, that if you've got a listing and you're going to another broker, that person can choose to go with another agent or another brokerage, but there's still some legalities there. So, all righty. So those of you who are still on the line, if you have any future questions, you can go to darrylspeaks.com/trial. I'll put it in the notes, and we are waiting there, ready and able to help you with any questions you might have. Laura says you won't want to cancel the coaching calls and webinars. It's totally worth it. And then all the materials and help is a bonus. Thank you, Laura. Any power agents that would like to jump in and say what they love about the Power program, please do. Again, it is not a long-term thing, but agents have been with us for years and years. The value that is there every Monday for you, every Wednesday for you, and then every day for you, both in the Power Agent program, in the classroom and on the Facebook group. It's incredible. If you are needing to rejoin, if you are a past Power Agent and you want to rejoin, please do use that link again, that darrylspeaks.com/trial, and use the chat, and Gail will be able to help you rejoin. There we go. All right, I think that is it for our questions. Again, head to the website, ask any questions you might have. Thank you so much for attending today, and until we meet again, keep smiling. Thanks, everybody.